Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I lost connection and I'm back. I lost connection. My network was breaking. So I was saying that initially I wanted to put the show on hold today, because of everything that is going on. But then I realized that this is a necessary conversation that we need to have because we're raising the next generation, and you know it is so important right now that we commit to intentionally grooming the next generation of better human beings, because what we're seeing here today, what we're seeing on the streets, what we're seeing our fellow humans do will make you shudder and wonder what kind of value system are these people living by? Have they lost their conscience? You're wondering who raised this kind of people? Don't they have families? Don't they come from somewhere? Right? Have they sold their souls to the devil? And you're wondering, and most times we can sit and complain that we have legitimate reasons to complain because things are not working, a lot of things are upside down. But then you're going to ask yourself, what can I do to make things better? And I keep on saying that in your own little corner, even if you cannot do anything, even if you feel hopeless, look at your children and make sure that you raise them to be wholesome humans who are kind, who have empathy, who love their country, who love their fellow human beings, and who will do things better. Who will do things better. We owe ourselves that. We owe our country that. We owe our community that. It's crazy out there, and you're wondering, are these people human beings? Are these people human beings? Who raised them? Don't they have a family? Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm wondering, like, what is going on? What is going on? What can we do? What can we do? I almost did not come live because I've been an emotional wreck. I almost did not come live, but I just realized that we have to keep this conversation going. Now more than ever, I know that what I'm doing, we need to spread the word. We need to put it out there because we can't afford to do things anyhow with our children. We can't afford to raise callous people. We can't afford to raise people who don't have the right values. We cannot afford to do that. We cannot afford to do that. We cannot afford to do that, guys. Yeah. I came here to talk about something else. I came here to, talk about the second episode of the chat. But then it's crazy. I've watched videos and heard horror stories in the past couple of days, and you just don't know what to say. You just don't know what to think. My emotions are just running wild, everywhere. But you can't control other people. You can't control other people, but you can actually say, if things are messed up like this, I'll make sure that I'm kind to people. I'll make sure that I'm a better person. I'll make sure that I'm raising children who are kind, who have empathy, who love their fellow human beings, and who would do things better than what we see today. People are selfish, go any length to protect their ego, go any length to steal, go any length to oppress, shed blood. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we trust God, and we believe that God will do what He can do. And in our own little corners, we're going to do our best to raise better humans. Right. Sorry about that. So we're on Fireside Chats with Dr. Vivian Okoye. I'm sorry, I just needed to kind of let out some steam. I've been an emotional wreck. So we're talking about principles for success in parenting, and this is episode 2. In episode 1, we said that one important thing that you need to do to raise better human beings is to actually parent purposefully, to know the purpose for which your child was created and to lead them to align with that purpose. That was what we talked about yesterday. If you haven't watched the video, you'll see the if you're watching on Facebook, it's on the group. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on our YouTube channel, so you can catch up with that video. So today we want to talk about trauma. We want to talk about, on episode 2, the principle we want to talk about is understanding your childhood trauma and handling them and healing from them so that you can actually parent your child better. You know, when I heard stories of people from their experience with SARS, especially that story of Chijioke that made the rounds on Friday night when they had candlelight service for the lost souls. What came to my mind was this family, these people that have been through these things and they are carrying traumas around. They are living their lives like, you see them, you think they are normal, and you don't know what they have had to go through losing a child. And in this part of the world where we don't count trauma as anything, we go through a traumatized situation and we just get up and keep moving like nothing happened. But the problem is that no trauma goes away without it being resolved. It just resurfaces in another form, right? It just resurfaces in another form. That is why you see people behaving in some ways. You don't know the battles they've had to fight. You see people being erratic. You see people being explosive. You see people having a lot of behavioral issues, and you're wondering what is wrong with this person. Sometimes it could be unhealed trauma. And as parents, let's bring it down to us. Most of us, if I were to perform a test, an adverse childhood experience test on each and every one of us, some of us, in fact, all of us, must have encountered a certain level of trauma while growing up. So, what is trauma? What trauma just simply means an experience that puts you in shock. It doesn't have to be something that is prolonged. It can be short, it can be long, right? So when we talk about trauma, people think of rape, people think of molestation, people think of, the severe traumas. But trauma for a child can be as little as snatching a toy with force and putting the child in shock. It can be as little as shouting down an excited child, probably a child who is just excited trying to say something, and then you shout the person down. The person is shocked, like, what did I do to deserve that? Those are traumatic experiences for children. And if you grew up in an African home, chances are that you had multiple of these experiences. You have them over and over and over again. In fact, it was a norm to be shut down. It was a norm to be beaten. It was a norm to be, treated anyhow as a child in an African home prior to the 21st century, right? So most of us just went through these things and we feel, oh, we're fine, nothing is going on. But those are traumas that you did not resolve, emotions that you did not handle. They will resurface in your adult life and they show up in different type of ways. People who take my course, one of the things we go through is understanding your unmet needs. So these traumas can show up. Most times you're wondering, why can't I have control of my emotions? Why am I always shouting? You desire to not shout. You desire to have a peaceful relationship with your child. You desire to be patient with your child. But every time your child does something, you're easily triggered. That is trauma. That is your trauma speaking, the unmet needs of your past, right? So one of the things that we need to do as parents is to, retrace our steps, look back at our traumas and, embrace them and then heal from them, accept them and heal from them. It's only when you have been able to do that that you can now realize you'll be more conscious, more awakened, and you'll be better, you'll be in a better position to respond and not be reactive to issues around you. Most times, a lot of us, including myself, we can be reactive because we have a lot of trauma in our unconscious that we haven't dealt with, we haven't resolved. Your trauma, okay, some signs of trauma is, one major sign of trauma is dysregulation. You're not able to regulate your emotions. You have, you have temper tantrums. You're always easily triggered. You're always yelling. That's one major sign of your childhood traumas. That is one major sign of your childhood traumas, because someone who is listening to me may just be wondering and saying, no, I'm all right. I didn't have any trauma as a child. I've already explained that trauma for children isn't what we think it is. It doesn't mean when you have been sexually abused or when you were, brutally beaten. Little things in our everyday lives. Even some of us are still repeating that cycle with our children. We're constantly shouting, we're constantly putting them in a state of shock. Those things are traumatic. And at that stage of your child's life, especially between 1 to 7 years, the brain doesn't need all those kind of experiences. They are called adverse childhood experiences. And you need to understand your adverse childhood experiences, come to terms with them, and heal from them so that you can be less reactive, so that you can be more regulated and more able to handle your children, because children will always be children. Children will always throw tantrums. Children will always be loud and all over the place, but they need a regulated adult to be the calm in their chaos. And that is what every child is asking from a parent. That is what every child needs from a parent. That is one of the key for you to build a bond, a connection with your child. If you haven't been able to heal from your childhood trauma, chances are that you're going to be a very reactive person. You're not going to build a lasting bond with your child. And you're not going to build a kind of connection that your child needs to thrive and to grow into a wholesome human as well, right? And this is why at the Parent Summit Africa 2020, we have brought Mr. Innocent Usa. You can Google him. Like, he is one of the best therapists in Africa, in Nigeria. He's the first neuro-linguistic practitioner in Nigeria. We have brought him to the Parent Summit Africa to come and help us analyze childhood traumas, how we can heal from them, how it affects our parenting, and how we can heal from them, right? So Mr. Innocent Usa is going to come teach us on the 4th of November at the Parent Summit Africa. If you haven't registered for the Parent Summit Africa, kindly find the link. I'm going to drop it immediately after this session. Kindly find the link and register for Parent Summit Africa, because we need to do things right. When I started this video, I gave us a lot of reasons why we need to do these things right. Now more than ever, we need to stay committed. We need to stay committed to raising children who are humane, who are regulated, who are emotionally intelligent. And you cannot offer what you don't have, right? So it starts with you. It starts from you understanding the things that make you reactive, understanding your traumas, handling them, so that you can be that calm, that regulated person that will teach your child how to be calm and how to be regulated. Most of your triggers, most of the things that trigger you are traceable to your childhood experiences. So if you're able to get it right with understanding your trauma, embracing them and handling them, you are going to become less triggered and calm, more emotionally intelligent. And it's not just going to help you in your parenting, it's going to help you with every other relationship in your life, with your productivity, with your life, with your work. It's going to help you all round. So guys, don't miss that session at the Parent Summit Africa. Go right now, register for the Parent Summit Africa, get your seats, and get ready to transform your life. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fireside Chats with Dr. Vivian. It's supposed to be 10 minutes, but of course, we have gone 18 minutes right now. And I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Let me go through the comments. Yes, someone said, it's simply unbelievable how things are escalating so fast. Yeah, it's so sad. And someone says, I'm committed to raising children that are humane. Yes, that should be our word for today. That should be something that we leave this chat with, that we are committed to raising children who are humane. Are you committed to raising children who are humane? All of us should, be committed to raise the next generation right. Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe, keep safe, and keep praying for Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you.